Can we
Yeah.
just, there are some reports that Israelis feel that their ability to depend on the United States has now decreased because of the abstention with the Security Council vote yesterday. Can you just speak to that and the relationship right now?
So absolutely not. First of all, the relationship between the United States and Israel is one that is longstanding. They are a longstanding ally of the United States, and the president has made clear that the United States will always support Israel's right to defend itself. That was true before our action in the Security Council yesterday. It remains true today. As I said yesterday, the position that we take, and the position that was contained in that resolution that led us to not block its moving forward, is that there should be a ceasefire and there should be the release of hostages. That is our position. We have believed it has been Israel's position because Israel has been negotiating to try to achieve a ceasefire that would secure the release of hostages. So far from there being, at least in our eyes, any distance between the United States and Israel, we believe the position that we were endorsing at the United Nations yesterday is the same one that Israel has been trying to achieve through the ongoing negotiations. Now, none of that is to say there are not things with which we disagree with Israel. There obviously are. There have been a number of things in recent months where we have had disagreements with them, and we've been very direct and candid with them in our conversations about those disagreements, and those, of course, have been well aired in public at this podium and in other places.
And Netanyahu's office is indicating that the U.S. not vetoing the resolution actually hampered or harmed the hostage talks. Is that the U.S. understanding?
So that statement, which I believe said that Hamas pulled out of the hostage talks, or Hamas rejected the most recent proposal because of the United Nations Security Council resolution, that statement is inaccurate in almost every respect, and it is unfair to the hostages and their families. The description of Hamas's response that has been aired in the public is all from news reports. It's not the actual substance of the response, and I can tell you that that response was prepared before the UN Security Council vote, not after it. So for the United States, we are not going to engage in rhetorical distractions on this issue. We are going to continue to work to try to bring the hostages home.
Just one last question on this. I understand that U.S. officials say that there are domestic political concerns for Prime Minister Netanyahu when he went forward with, canceling these Rafah meetings here in the United States. But it does have a damaging effect on the U.S.-Israel relationship as well. And now he's going even further and saying that this move is harming hostage, talks. Are there going to be ramifications for Israel for pulling back on these talks and for now, blaming the U.S. for hostage talks not moving forward quickly enough?
So I wouldn't look at it I wouldn't look at the question of ramifications in the way that you pose the question. We're not going to make our decisions based on minor disagreements or whether someone canceled a meeting or not. We're going to make our decisions based on what we believe is in the best national security interests of the United States. And ultimately, when we have conversations with Israel, we are talking about what we believe are in the national security interests of Israel, as well in the national security interests of the region and in the interests of the Palestinian people and others. So when you think about ramifications, we wanted to have that meeting with Israel to present to them an alternative way to accomplish their legitimate security goals of defeating the Hamas battalions in Rafah, because we believe it is in their interest to do this in a better way. We believe that a full-scale military operation in Rafah will not just cause civilian harm to the Palestinian people. It will not just hinder the flow of humanitarian assistance, most of which is coming in through the Rafah area and being distributed initially through Rafah. We believe that kind of operation would hurt Israel's national security. It will leave Israel more isolated in the world. It will separate Israel from countries that have been longtime partners of Israel. And you've heard this from countries all around the world. So we have been making clear that this kind of operation is not in Israel's interest, let alone in the interest of the Palestinian people. So when you speak to ramifications, those are the type of ramifications that we're worried about for Israel, and that's why we wanted to have this meeting to present to them what we think is a better alternative.
Are you rescheduling those meetings anytime soon?
I don't have any announcements to make regarding schedules.